This podcast is created for adult audiences only and contains content that may be alarming to some viewers. Listener discretion is advised. Any badass views or opinions about to hear are those of the hosts and do not represent those of the people, institutions, or organizations that the podcast may or may not be associated with. So just don't be a dick. You know what you're getting yourself into.
Girls Gone Weird.
Hello. Fancy lady.
Hello.
In your bed. I was going to say in my bed.
I know.
But I'm not in my bed. I'm in your bed.
We are recording from my bed tonight, the original OG spot for me.
Your original recording spot. Yeah.
Yes, and now you get to join. This is the first time you've joined me in my bed for a recording sesh.
For a recording sesh.
I know. Yeah.
That sounded like people are going to infer a lot.
You should.
We watch a lot of 90s comedies in this bed.
Yep.
Well, welcome. I was just going to reach over and take a little drink here.
Yeah, mine finally, I got a little hit. We are drinking some delicious Uncle Arnie's, which are so good.
THC infused beverage. It's really good. I got a watermelon.
So I had a cherry limeade, and now I'm starting on an iced tea lemonade.
It's good.
Delicious.
It's delicious. So yeah, welcome. I hope everybody enjoyed your little holiday New Year's special. Mm-hmm. We took a tiny little break there so we could handle the holidays, and we're out of the woods.
Well, I'm not, because
you're almost out of the woods.
Sadly had a child very close to Christmas, so it doesn't stop yet.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't stop until the end of February.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it goes right into our birthdays.
It's just craziness. Mm-hmm. March will be a calm month.
It will. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there.
Yep.
Do you even say who we were? We're Girls Gone Weird. I'm Dini.
Welcome to Girls Gone Weird. Yes. I am Nicole.
And we're to do a really awesome episode that I have been very excited about and that we have been planning from the beginning. Really.
We've been planning it for a while. Mm-hmm. Yep. But before we do that, should we get into death news?
Let's do it.
I mean, I know it's a big episode, so
let's do it.
Let's just get straight down to business.
All right, ready?
Welcome to my death news.
What you got?
I don't have a ton, but in the last 48 hours or so, there was a lot of there's some little things that would pop up here and there. Most specifically yesterday. So as mentioned before, I started this office manager shift. So I am now a part-time office manager, transfer specialist, funeral attendant, and soon to be crematory operator. So got a lot of hats to wear. So it was just working an office job, and honestly, been kind of hating it.
Yeah.
Just because we were talking about it tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm just not passionate about the office work.
Yeah.
And there's not even a whole lot going on. It'd be one thing if I was still folding funeral flyers. That's not what they're fucking called. Memorial folders is what they're called. Funeral flyers. If it was folding funeral flyers again. I'm already a little stony baloney.
Lucy goose.
Memorial folders, or if I was helping write and upload obituaries and doing stuff involved in the business, but I'm just sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's really boring. And I'm filing and scanning, and I'm oh God, I hate this.
Is it something where you can do where I do at Pull Tabs, right? Get through so many books, which has been lovely for me because I've had so many books that I have been wanting to get through, but I just haven't been able to. But now I literally have been reading so much. Have you thought about getting some books going?
So I wish I could, but this is one of those jobs that because it's owned by a more corporate company, there's people watching all the time. Cameras are on me. The general manager's always popping in and checking in, and they're not going to be down with that.
They're not going to be down with you with a good novel.
No, they're going to be time to lean, time to clean. Yeah. Go scrub the toilets.
Oh, okay.
And I'm be I don't fucking want to.
Yeah.
I would rather go embalm a body.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, needless to say, I was a little bit bored yesterday working the shift. And then my general manager comes in, and I'll say this about him. He oversees like 4 or 5 plus locations in this area within like a 100-mile radius. Not that much, maybe like a 30 to 50-mile radius. Anyway, you'd think general managers just come in and they like tell you what to do and they have one-on-ones and then they check on everybody and they leave. He gets down in and dirty with us. Like, he's down in the trenches. He's doing removals. He's embalming.
That's awesome.
He's literally doing it all.
That'll probably be what you do if you get to that spot. Just kind of do a little bit of everything. Da, 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 da.
Well, maybe. Yeah. No, I mean, not to his degree, but like, but he,
You would leave them hanging then. Is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, he's got more of a, I mean, he works right under the like regional manager and like he's in a big top position. I don't want to be a big top position. But he does get his hands dirty with us, which I appreciate. So he walked in and he's like, I need your help. And I was like, shoot, like, yeah, what do you need? He's like, we had somebody come in and they are very large and I can't do this on my own. And he looked at the person next to me and he was like, I'm probably going to need your help too. So we go out to the garage and it feels like a repeat of that big heavy guy that I picked up in Alabama. If you guys remember, he'd gotten in a car accident. He was like 500 pounds and he was just so hard.
Really?
So hard to move.
We had a bigger person around here, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly. Actually, I think he came out of a city that was about 45 minutes to an hour away.
Okay.
It was so it was a trade removal, which means another funeral home or a coroner or somebody is using our services, basically. Like, this person wouldn't have normally
we'll just pay
used
you for this.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think a lot of people wanted to do this one, which was kind of like why I understand now. But they wouldn't normally use our funeral home because they're not in the area. So I don't think anybody wanted to take this guy on.
Well, that's kind of sad.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But we did. That's what my other boss did. So, this guy, I don't know what he died of, but he was intubated and he was in his apartment and he was in like a very hoardery situation. And I didn't do this removal, obviously, but my 2 coworkers did. And they were like, it was really bad, like hoarding situation, lots of animals. And when he came in, he still had like stuffing from the couch, like attached to his body. Like,
oh my gosh, because
like
he didn't
foam,
move and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like foam from the couch. And I was like, thank God I was not on Saturday.
Yeah. It would probably be hard enough to like move someone that's heavier, but then having to do it with like a lot of shit around.
Yes.
It's not good.
Exactly. And he was full of infection too. Like, he smelled like he was infected with things. And like his legs were just complete, like he probably had MRSA.
Yeah.
Like, definitely. And it was like everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it was really, really hard to deal with. And I was already feeling nauseated that day for completely unrelated reasons. And I usually, you guys know me, I have a stomach for this stuff. Nothing really makes me queasy in this industry, but I think because I already came in, like, I thought I had food poisoning. I was just like, thought I was going to puke all morning. And then I had to like do this. And I was like, this better not be the time that I puke on the job right in front of the regional manager. Like, I didn't, spoiler alert. But it was really cool because I got to see the lift being used for the first time. I never got to see this thing in motion at my other job. We had one in Alabama. So it's like this metal, I wouldn't even call it a machine. There's hydraulics. You do it all yourself. It's not electronic or, what am I trying to say? Not electronic, but
yeah,
it's not like a powered thing.
Not powered.
It's not powered. Anyway, so like you attach it, it almost looks like a giant oversized music stand, if you can think of that. There's like feet and then a pole, and then there's this big metal thing that you attach straps to, and then you attach straps to the person, and then you use hydraulics to lift up. So it helps you lift heavier
It kind of reminds
people.
me of what they have for like pools for like people that need
Yeah,
to be lifted for chairs and stuff.
kind
Yeah.
of like that. Yep, that's a good example,
Hmm.
a good visual. Um, so um, it's really, yeah, it comes in handy even when, like, when we had a funeral director in Alabama when she was like a smaller lady, and like she couldn't do something by herself, like casket a person, even if they're just a normal, like a little 90-pound grandma. It's hard for one person to put somebody from an embalming table into a casket, so they'll use the lift. They'll help
Are
to
people
get
like
somebody.
stiff as a board by then?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, just like a big old
Especially if
board.
they're going into a casket, it's 90% of the time it's because they're having a viewing, or they've been embalmed.
So they purposely make you like that just so you can like sit up in there nice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
Yep. So we had we had like an emergency board that they had used to get this guy with, and it was giant piece of flexible plastic with some straps on it. And he's like, wait, this is what I need. They already had him in an air tray. If everybody remembers, an air tray is a giant piece of heavy duty wood that you can be cremated in, not just the plastic or the cardboard boxes. So he's already in the air tray, but he's like, we got to get this board out from under him. And I was like, dude,
Hmm.
why? Can we just cremate him with the
Yeah.
board? Like, why are we going through all this fucking
Hmm.
trouble? Can we just replace it? And he's like, these things are like $800 to
Oh,
$1,000.
wow.
And I was like, for a flimsy piece of plastic
Yeah.
with some straps? That's insane. And he's like, yeah, we wouldn't even make that much on the cremation. Like,
If I was a company, I would not buy those. I would just go to Home Depot.
just make your own.
Yeah, make your own.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
should. I should be able to. So needless to say, we hooked this we didn't hook the guy up to the machine, but we hooked the board up to the machine and used that to try to shimmy it out from under him. And we were successful. So it was really cool that we were able to do that and use the machine, because I was like, there's no way this is happening. Um but
I
yeah,
just
that was
couldn't imagine
interesting.
that poor guy. I couldn't imagine, like, I think of like the most depressed I've ever been and like binge eating.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't imagine, like, gets to a point where you just lay there and you kind of just become into your furniture.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And like, just like when I watch like 600 Pound Life and how much pain they're in and like
Yeah.
everything, I'm like, it would just be so painful.
It would be. I don't even know how you, like, how this gentleman in particular, I don't know how he got up to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
because
Like, you
I
just go
think,
on yourself, you just like in a bucket next to you. Like,
yeah. Well, even then, what are you gonna do when you got to shit?
well, there's this one 600 Pound Life where I'm just like, oh my God. It's like a bigger woman. It's a woman. And she has a husband who is like a decent looking guy, small guy,
Mm-hmm.
decent looking. And she ended up getting so big, he would just put like puppy pads under her because she would soil herself. And like, he was the one that cleaned it up. I'm like, how could you be like, if Mark got to like a point where he's eating himself, where I literally had to put puppy pads under him because he's shitting
Puppy
himself.
pads.
Yeah, like he'd put puppy pads under him.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
Wow. I don't know. Only
I would
one
be
way to
like,
test that theory.
I would be like, I have to get up. I need to go I have to go walk quick.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
look at how we're sitting in the bed now and having to move around and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta move.
Oh, I gotta move. Yeah. No.
Oh,
I'm probably about 8 minutes away from having to readjust myself.
yeah. Like, I just melt into the furniture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
terrible life.
Yeah. It was really
R.I.P.,
sad.
dude.
It was really sad.
Hmm.
But it was also interesting. It was kind of cool to see a new piece of equipment being used.
Yeah.
New to me, obviously. And just something different. Like, it's been so slow, you guys. Like, nobody's dying right now. I couldn't remember the last time I worked a service. Like, I couldn't
Wow.
remember the last one. That's how long it had been, which is probably over a month, which
Yeah.
is a while.
That's a super long time. And like
Totally.
everyone uses them. There's a lot of
Yeah.
old people around here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the few we've had have all just been like direct cremations, or like, I don't know.
Now that you are an office lady, can you look at like the records and see like the average amount of funerals per year and everything per this location?
There's probably a tool I can use,
Yeah, you should
but I
check it out.
haven't learned quite all the systems yet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we use this thing called Passari, which is like our funeral software, and like, there's probably some sort of reports I could run, but I don't know how to get there yet. But
Yeah.
maybe that'd
I'd
be
be
interesting
interested. I would totally want to look at all that.
for sure.
See all the deaths, how many cremations.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So,
Mhm.
that was interesting. And then the only other thing I can think of that is death news worthy is it happened today while I was at a
Ooh.
service. And it was like my first service in so long. And it was me and one of my favorite coworkers working. And the funeral itself was fine. Like, it was just this older man that died, and it was nothing extraordinary. That sounded fucking.
Nothing extra, just a death.
It sounded. I'm sorry, Mr. So and so. Bleep his name here. That sounded like an asshole. You were nothing special, nothing extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, the service itself was like fine, whatever. Nothing to write home about. That still sounds like an asshole comment. Your funeral sucked.
Can I just say, every funeral I've been to up here has sucked.
Yeah. They're not very
Terrible.
noteworthy.
No, they're not noteworthy.
Very tradish.
Yeah.
Meh.
Meh.
Meh. Unless something happens, then maybe it becomes interesting. And let me tell you, something interesting did happen. So, he was a veteran. So the American Legion, the local one, had come to present the flag to the family after the funeral, like after the service. Like, that's the last thing they'll come, and if the flag's already folded, they'll give it to them or they'll fold it. And they had this old man that was like, oh God, pushing mid-90s, old Legion vet. And he goes to present the flag. Well, first of all, he couldn't find where the flag was. Like, he walked up there and just started kind of like wandering around.
Oh, no.
And I'm just like, oh no, mister, what are you doing? And you could see the pastor was like, you know that scene in Pulp Fiction where John Travolta's like looking around?
Yeah.
And like, that's like what he was doing on the stage of the church. And he walks up to the microphone. The pastor's like, what are you doing? And he says it kind of into the microphone in front of the whole congregation. And he was like, looking for the flag. And they're like showing him it's down here. And I was just like, oh boy, this is off to a rough start already. He finally gets the flag. When he grabs it, he almost knocks over all the flowers with it, because he just like it hovers over the tips of all the flowers. And I was just like, oh my God. Everything's gonna fall over. And he doesn't. And I'm like, whew, okay.
Made it there.
And then I'm still watching, and I see him give the look and start the body language where I'm like, he's gonna kneel. He's gonna try to kneel. And I'm like, don't do it.
Oh no.
Please don't take a knee, because you're so old. Your poor knees. I can barely take a knee. And I'm almost 40. And he starts going down to take a knee, and he fucking topples over. He falls over. He falls into all the flowers. The flowers in the vases topple over. A vase breaks. Everybody's going, and then a woman starts, she starts wailing and crying. And I was just like, oh my God, what is happening? And this is all being live streamed. So I have it on video.
Do you? Can I see it?
I have it on video.
Let's see it.
And you can see me, like, for a split second, like, get up and start to run. Like, we just run up there to make sure the guy's okay. He ended up cutting himself, and he was like bleeding.
Oh yeah, he's on glass vases.
Yeah, well, and also like he's on blood thinners, and a tiny little scratch makes you bleed so much. So
it's
it
like
was
a
super
second
dramatic.
funeral is ready to happen there. He's already there.
I was like, well, at least I have the van with me.
Man.
I took the van already.
I'm really excited to see this.
Oh my God.
Oh no, it's what? It's just shocking now. It's just so quick.
It just.
It's like he did it on purpose.
I don't mean to laugh, you guys. I sound like an asshole.
Oh no.
Laughing. He's fine, everybody. But it's
just like he's standing and then whoa, like
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it.
Yeah.
I saw it happening.
Oh, you could see it
in my eyes, in my head, before it actually happened. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny now watching it, knowing he's fine and he's okay. but like, because it wasn't in the moan, I was just like, oh fuck, like we gotta run. Ruined half of the flowers, which honestly, that's fine. I kind of hate the flowers anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was okay.
Why
Watch,
do you
I get
hate
a
the-
death call on his on him
I
next
know.
week.
Why do you
Because
hate
honestly,
flowers?
once old people like once they fall, they kind of start going
Oh,
downhill.
oh yeah. And I was gonna say, why do you hate the flowers?
I hate the flowers because they are a pain in the ass to transport.
Okay. Yeah.
They have devices you can put in the vans and whatever vehicle you're taking to like help secure vases, whatever you want to call them, from toppling over. But they always fucking topple. They always, one of them always. I had one of them already spill all over my foot earlier that day. And it was just like, they're just a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic to half of them. I'm allergic to all the lilies. All the lilies. Everybody, don't send lilies, please.
I love lilies. They're so pretty.
They
though.
have so much pollen.
But you're right. Yeah, when an old man falls, an old person, they just kind of just go down from there.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting in the next few weeks to be like, hey, Nicole, you remember that guy?
Yeah.
You got to go get him now from the home. Like, God damn it. So yeah.
Have you been to the American Legion of Fergus yet? I told you to go there.
No.
All right.
Mm-mm.
It's the food is so good, but the ambiance is the worst.
Yeah.
It's like bright, like the brightest lights they could ever get in the ceiling, all over the ceiling. It's like eating inside of a Walmart. It's awful.
That's terrible.
It's an awful bar. But the food's all homemade, which is crazy for Legion. Because Legions are kind of usually like ours, where it's just like you're going to get some deep fried shit that every place else has
it's all
thrown
frozen.
in front of you.
Yeah.
But no, they have like homemade desserts and a whole bunch of stuff.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Might be
Ready
worth
to
the
go
lights.
eat in a Walmart.
What's I was gonna mention this. There's apparently an National Funeral Directors like professional women's conference coming up in Florida in the spring. It's very expensive to go.
Yeah.
Not only lodging and hotel, that's the same thing. Lodging and airfare, and then the cost to get in. It's like easily over $1,000.
Oh wow.
Like I couldn't afford to go, but they have an opportunity to apply for like a scholarship to win like basically your airfare, all your lodging, getting it, like everything. But you have to like fill out a bunch of questions and like do a video submission of something, and it's like it's a lot of work. But I've started filling it out.
Let's do it.
I have. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to an NFDA conference, and having it be a women's conference, just I feel like it would be super
fun.
cool.
And you could make like connections.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
Yeah, the speakers, I was looking at the speakers for the previous years, and I was just nerding out a little bit and being like, oh, that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll let you guys
Fingers
know.
crossed.
I should know by the end of February. So
what if there's someone out there that makes really good videos? One of our
what do you mean
awesome
makes
weirdos.
Really good videos?
Videos. Like a video, like you make the video and they edit it, so it's super cool.
Oh.
You should reach out to our...
Well, it's got to be like an under 2-minute answering a question. A serious question.
Yeah, be crazy about it, though.
Be crazy.
Some good editing.
You're like, is this how you view the funeral business? Is it a joke to you?
I think, but like, she put in a lot of time and effort for this. She must really want to go.
I really, really want it. I really want it.
Yeah. Very creative.
Yeah. So we'll see if I can get that submitted in time. That'll be fun. I hope I win because I want to go.
Maybe too.
Who doesn't want to go to St. Petersburg and like...
I love St. Petersburg.
Early May.
Get down there with the Scientologists. Love it. It's a beautiful beach.
Scientologists and the ocean.
Yep.
But anyway, that's my death news.
That's all already.
Thank you for listening to my death news.
All right. So we're going to start a story we have been talking about doing for a long time. I've purposely, with this, because through the last few years, I've seen documentary stuff pop up, everything like that. I've been trying to do a pretty good job at staying away from it. And only going in when I know when to go in.
Yeah.
Because I know the story, But it's been a long time. And there's
Been a
been so
long
many
time.
even new developments. So I'm excited.
Don't you know that song? It's been a long time. It's like Aaliyah.
None of that sounds like anything. No, it's like
I'll play it for you later.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a big case.
It is.
It's a big one. It's a big one to cover. And I think that we are going to do a good job on it.
And if you guys haven't figured it out, we are talking about Sir Charles Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Baby. The baby. Yeah, before we get into it, I probably need to say that thing that makes it extra weird for me is that I am related to Charles Lindbergh.
Yes.
On my maternal side, he's like a distant-ish cousin. He was like a second or third cousin to my grandfather. Like our family is immigrated from Sweden and we have the same blood. But, you know, in some respect, you're like, oh, that's cool. It's Charles Lindbergh. And then you're like, oh, it's Charles Lindbergh. And
well, unless you're a certain type of, barely anyone, if you can go back in any of your histories, you can usually find something pretty fucked up.
Somebody.
There's someone fucked up.
Yeah. Well, and believe it or not, some people don't know who Charles Lindbergh is either.
I know. So
if you're listening to this and don't know, well, you're going to find out.
Yes.
I mean, especially some of the younger folks. Like I was telling my sister and her wife that I'm doing the Lindbergh Baby. Like I'm doing Charles Lindbergh. I'm like, he's my cousin. Isn't that crazy? And they're like, you could tell that they were like, oh, but it didn't click. And I'm like, don't you know? And they're like, well, I mean, I've heard of the name, but they couldn't tell me like, oh, he's a famous aviator, you know? So having said that, we're going to go ahead and talk about
all about
him and what made him famous and just a little refresher, history refresher before we get into the case. So
well, let's do it.
Yeah, so I figured with the family ties and all that, I'm handling what happened, the timeline, the players, the trial. You're handling theories because that's a whole separate emotional roller coaster.
Different thing after this many years. For
You're
sure.
good at that.
It's a whole big deal.
Yeah. So we're gonna split it up a little bit. Yep.
So I'm excited. Let's do it.
Should we get into Charles Lindbergh and the Lindbergh Baby? So Charles Augustus Lindbergh. I don't know if it's pronounced that way. I just did it.
Augustus.
Like Augustus Gloop from Willy Wonka. I think it's Augustus. Well, Augustus sounds fun. But Charles Augustus Lindbergh was born in Detroit in February of 1902. He was very much a Minnesota boy, though. He grew up in the farm country in Little Falls when he wasn't in D.C. But why would he be in D.C.?
I don't know. And see, I already didn't know something. I didn't know that he was born here.
You didn't know he was born here?
See?
Well, he was born in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit.
He was raised here in his youth a bit. Yep. Which also makes sense as to how we're related.
That makes sense.
Minnesota roots.
Yeah.
So yeah, he bopped in between here and DC. I even heard California a little bit. But this is because his father, who was Charles Lindbergh Sr., he was a U.S. congressman. So of course he's bopping around town a little bit, and he's in DC. Apparently he was a huge isolationist, which basically means he thought that America should like mind their own fucking business and stay out of European wars, which let's just put a pin in that. We'll talk about that later. But this is the kind of man that raised Charles Lindbergh. So young Charles was pretty tall. He was super awkward. He kind of was emotionally distant. And he was obsessed with machines. So you can kind of imagine that kind of person, that type B personality. Yeah. That was Charles Lindbergh. So obviously really loved airplanes. If you haven't figured it out already, he was a famous aviator. I think you could put that's
what he's known
official
for.
title. Yeah.
If you don't know him for anything else, aviator.
Aviation. He was like I lost.
She looked off into the distance.
I looked off and just got onto a plane and zoomed away. No. Okay. He was smart. He was type B. He's obsessed with machines. He's really obsessed with airplanes. So he drops out of college. He joins the Army Air Service and he becomes a barnstormer. Which, do you know what a barnstormer is?
I do not. What is a barnstormer?
What would you guess?
See, I know it's not what it obviously sounds like. It's not like someone's coming to my house and gonna go storm my barn. That's outside. But that's just what it is.
The Air Service. He's storming barns.
Storming barns.
No. So it's basically somebody that does a bunch of stunts and tricks in the air. So he was like they called him Daredevil Lindbergh. So it's early aviation's version of just like, fuck it, watch what I can
Being
do.
cool.
Yeah, on this airplane. He's skydiving. He would skydive. He would wing walk, which if you think those old biplanes, they've got the big flat wings, like they would walk on the wings.
That is terrifying.
It is terrifying. People
That's
have died
awful.
from it.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't like any of it. But that's super badass.
It is pretty cool.
That's badass.
It's pretty cool.
Are there any pictures of this?
Of him
exist?
barnstorming?
I'm gonna look.
Think so. There, honestly, I didn't focus on pictures of that just because there's so many pictures of everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. That would be cool, though.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Super cool.
It probably wasn't as easy to get pictures of that back in the day.
Not as
you know?
easy. I mean, there were pictures, but
Yeah.
not as easy. They don't get a drone up
They
there.
don't have a drone up there.
Taking pictures. So anyway, he's in the Air Force. He's barnstorming. And in 1924, he began a year of military flight training with 104 other cadets in the U.S. Air Service. And he was one of only 18 cadets of his graduating class, where he earned his pilot's wings and a commission as a second lieutenant in the reserves.
Ooh.
So that was in 24. In 1926, he opened service on a new route briefly as a mail messenger for the USPS, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
He did that briefly. But on 2 occasions, he had to bail on approach to Chicago because there were issues with weather. There was issues with the plane itself, like fuel exhaustion, equipment failure. And it was basically just dangerous work. Like USPS mail messenger in the air.
That sounds terrifying.
It does sound terrifying.
And this is like back in the day when like planes weren't as big of a deal as they are now.
No.
Like it was a big deal how big of an aviator he was.
For
like
sure.
One of the first, you know, like
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he's doing this with the USPS, this is around the time he heard of this French pilot named René Fonck, is how I think you pronounce it. Fonck. Fonck. I'm trying to think of how the French would say it, but
Le Fonck.
Le Fonck.
Le Fonck.
René Fonck. He attempted to win something called the Orteig Prize for the transatlantic race, and he ended up crashing and killing 2 out of 3 of his crew members.
Oh my God. Sure.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No bueno.
Mm-hmm.
So the Orteig Prize was a $25,000 prize for the first aviator to fly nonstop from New York City to Paris, or vice versa. And Lindbergh, when he saw this and saw, the disaster that happened, he deduced that this feat was apparently less dangerous than flying mail for a single winter. And by 1927, he was headed to San Diego to oversee the design and construction of the Spirit of St. Louis, which is the famous plane. If you've heard of Charles Lindbergh, if you're familiar with him as an aviator, you likely know that the name of his plane was the Spirit of St. Louis. It's in the history books. It was a custom-built engine, single-seat, high-wing monoplane. And it was like covered in fabric too. Like I think even the outside, it was just an interesting plane. But he set his sights on doing this. He's like, I'm gonna fucking fly from NYC to Paris. I'm gonna win this money. So in May of that same year, he was 25 years old, and he did the thing that made him America's golden child. He fucking won the prize. He flew solo nonstop from New York to Paris. 1927, no radio, no co-pilot, and it took 33 and a half hours.
Oh my God.
Nonstop.
How could just a big pile of coffee next to you?
I guess. In that
Piss in a
tiny ass
bottle?
fucking plane,
Piss in a bottle?
monoplane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. So needless to say, when he landed, Paris fucking lost its
Big
collective shit.
celebration. Yeah.
Oh my God. And then America lost our shit even
Mhm.
fucking harder. Like Golden Boy. The headlines started calling him Lucky Lindy. That was his
Lucky
nickname.
Lindy.
Lucky Lindy. Or the Lone Eagle, but I really
Mhm.
heard Lucky Lindy more than Lord. Well, whatever. He was basically aviation Jesus. So
Aviation Jesus.
Aviation Jesus. My cousin.
Your cousin. Like
And
third cousin.
we'll leave it at that.
Mhm. Some cousin.
Some cousin of mine. But when he was in Paris, there was a crowd of around 150,000 people that wanted
Wow.
to see him land.
Mhm.
This whole debacle caused Paris's largest traffic jam to date.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody
Yeah.
trying to see him land.
I see him.
And when he landed, they stormed the field. They dragged him out of the cockpit
Mhm.
and like put him up on their shoulders for like a
Oh, that's
half an
cool.
hour. They were
Mhm.
just like raising him
What if
around.
he's just like, God damn it, I just want to stand, I just want to walk around.
That's basically him too.
I've been sitting this whole time.
I don't want to be carried by
I know.
people.
And I just,
And they're being crazy too. They're ripping
Mhm.
fabric from the airplane, trying to
Mhm.
get like little pieces of souvenirs off of this. Like
oh, I'd be so pissed.
people, yeah, he fucking built that,
Yeah.
you know?
I'd be so mad.
But I mean, people these days, they ain't got nothing better to do.
People these days.
People them days. So anyway, he gets parades, he gets medals. Women are throwing themselves at his feet. He is a fucking celebrity.
Man.
Yeah. Kids are being named after him. Pretty much any kid named Charlie that's
Mhm.
after, in the born in the 30s or whatever.
Yeah.
It's because of Charles Lindbergh.
Ooh, I wonder if my father-in-law, who was born around that time, Charlie, I
Charlie.
wonder if he was named after Lindbergh.
Maybe. Let's just say he was.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so he basically became like the most famous person on the planet
On the world.
overnight, like immediately. And he fucking hated it.
Mhm.
Again, remember,
Yeah.
he's type B, he's private, he's kind of
Mhm.
cold, he had zero interest in celebrity. But America, as we do, we give zero fucks. Don't really care. Press is going to follow him everywhere.
Mhm.
They printed his schedules, his address, his routines. People were just completely obsessed with him. So about 7 months later, after he lands the plane in Paris or whatever, in December of 27, he meets his wife, Anne Morrow, who at the time was the daughter of his financial advisor. And they eventually fell in love and they got married 2 years later. And he ends up actually teaching her how to fly.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
I'd want to learn how to fly.
I mean, especially way back then when it's not a common thing.
Yeah.
And then for a female to learn to fly, it's really cool. So he teaches her how to fly and she turns herself into kind of a badass in aviation. Everybody hears about Charles Lindbergh, but I didn't know that part.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. She flew solo for the first time in 1930 and became the first American woman to earn first class glider's pilot's license.
That's pretty badass.
It is pretty cool. So they flew together and they explored and they charted air routes between continents, and they were actually the first to fly from Africa to South America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're famous, they're happy, they're flying around, yada, yada, yada. And on June 22nd of 1930, we've made it to the 30s, she gives birth to their first child, Charles Lindbergh Jr. Little baby Charles.
What I always got confused about their names, because obviously Lindbergh's dad was also a Charles Lindbergh. So he should be a Charles Lindbergh, this baby should be the third, but it's always called Junior.
It should be. Yeah, you think.
But it's Junior.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They don't make any sense. It's fine. Don't ask too many questions.
I won't. That's how your family's rolling. Some dumbasses. God.
Junior. It's Junior. So little baby Charlie's born. And this is really where our episode starts. Okay, so you guys got the background on Lindbergh, how he got famous. He has his first little baby, and let's get into it from here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. So by 1932, Charles Lindbergh, he's not just famous, he's still untouchable. He's still an aviation hero. He hasn't done anything else to make him more famous, but he's still a national symbol.
Yep.
You know, America's fucking obsessed with him.
Well, it's crazy we could fly in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, we got this badass walking wings and shit.
Yeah. And he's just, again, he's America's sweetheart. He's a husband, he's a father. You know, what's not to love about
And
Lucky
his
Lindy?
baby is fucking cute as hell.
It is so cute.
That's fucking cute. Think of a cute little baby from them, little bonnet and shit.
Little bonnet, little boy with a
Cute.
bonnet,
So
pudgy
cute.
cheeks, blonde.
Yes. Perfectly cute little baby.
So cute. Yep. So he and his wife Anne own this like massive estate in Hopewell, New Jersey, and it was called Highfields. You know, it's a big fancy house when the house is named. The house has a
so
name.
cool.
You should name your house.
I know I should name my house.
Yeah. So this house, its name was Highfields. Cool name. I've heard a few different things. Some say that it was still slightly under construction while they were kind of living here at this time. Some say it was more of a weekend house. Others say it was like their dream residence they built. I at this point, I don't really know. I don't really care. But
I
my
wonder if
point
it's
is
still
that
there?
it is still there.
Oh, okay.
It's on the National Historic Places, like registered, whatever list. So you can go visit it. It's beautiful. It's a very, very beautiful house. But my point is basically that it, at least during this time in the story, they stayed there very irregularly. Depending on Lindbergh's schedule, sometimes they were there, sometimes they weren't. The baby wasn't always there either. And on March 1st of 1932, they were there unexpectedly. Again, as we do with these stories, you hear different things other places. This is another point where sometimes you'll hear that they stayed there because the baby was sick. But the records from the time say the real reason they were there at the house that night was because bad weather changed their plans. They were going to travel and then they didn't. The baby was under the weather around that period, but that wasn't like the deciding factor. And like, let's keep staying at Highlands.
Yeah.
Schedule changed. Anyway, I digress. It was a chilly spring evening. Just like
just chilly.
Just a chilly spring evening.
The worst.
30 degrees. When Charles Lindbergh Jr. was 20 months old at the time, just a little babe, almost 2 years old. He was put to bed by Betty Gow, who was the family nurse, sometime between 7:30 and 8 p.m. And he was in a second floor nursery of this Highlands house. So around 9:30 p.m., Charles reported hearing a noise that he thought sounded something like, quote unquote, slats breaking off of a full crate in the kitchen. And then around 10 p.m., Mrs. Lindbergh went to take a bath and the baby's nurse went to check on him. And the crib was empty.
Uh-oh.
And the nursery window was open. And on the windowsill, there was a handwritten ransom note demanding $50,000 written in broken English, signed with a strange symbol of these two interlocking blue circles with 3 square holes punched in them. One was in each circle and one in the center oval, which was red, and it basically seemed like
weird.
It was super fucking weird.
This is the original Ramsey note. John Bonet Ramsey note.
Originally, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they used it as like a signature. It was on all the letters. Spoiler alert, there's more. Just use plural.
That's it.
And that was the story. So baby's gone, windows open, and apparently because the house was still being built, where there's that kind of thought that it was still slightly under construction, there was a warped shutter that wouldn't close that was giving them a way into the room that would have been safe from the wind that evening otherwise. But because it was being worked on, how convenient.
Yeah.
You know, just, I don't know, note that in your brain. If you're thinking detective-like, Just
Note
make
it.
notes.
Little note.
Just little notes.
Yep.
You know? So basically, word on the street. I heard this word on the street. Charles Lindbergh grabbed a gun and he headed outside with the family. He headed outside with the family butler, Ollie Watley, which is kind of a
It's a
fun name.
great butler name.
Ollie
Ollie
Watley.
Watley.
Ollie.
Like if I
Mr.
had a
Watley.
butler, I would like that name.
Ollie Watley. Yeah. it
I'd
sounds
hire
like-
you automatically. You could be the shittiest butler.
Yeah. My butler's name is going to be Ollie Watley.
Yep.
I get it. So they go outside. They start checking shit out. They're freaking out. He's like, I got a gun. What's going on? My kid's missing. And they discover some strange marks in the ground under the window of the child's room, along with bits of homemade wooden ladder. So Watley quickly dashes inside. He calls the police, Hopewell, New Jersey police to be specific. And then Charles immediately calls his lawyer and his friend Henry Breckenridge. And they were on their way to Highfields in like 20 minutes. You know, everybody's just there. And almost immediately the crime scene becomes a disaster. Like this
Yeah.
is the first like kind of like fuck up step. According to FBI.gov, I'm going to quote them because they had it really nicely laid out here.
They do. I ended up, when I was researching, ended up on the FBI.gov, and
Yeah.
it was a great website for this
Totally.
research.
Absolutely.
I was like shocked. I was like, oh, they have a whole they have like their old like FBI records here. This is kind of cool.
I know. I was trying to go through multiple different stories and sources and
Mhm.
then kind of narrow down the commonalities between them. And FBI.gov seemed to have quite a bit
It did.
of detail.
Mhm.
Um,
Which is shocking for the FBI right now. So good.
Shocking.
I wasn't their FBI that did it.
No, it wasn't. So,
Wasn't Cash Patel out there putting this stuff to get
no.
his crazy eyes in front of the computer? Just like I just picture the Cash Patel is crazy, just Lindbergh Baby shit.
Definitely was not.
Not him.
No. This is J. Edgar Hoover days.
Yes.
Okay, so they said during the search at the kidnapping scene, traces of mud were found on the floor of the nursery. Footprints impossible to measure were found under the nursery window.
Don't understand that.
What?
How are they impossible to measure?
Because the scene kept getting fucking trampled over.
Oh, because it's being trampled. Yeah.
They were,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's why they were impossible to measure.
Mhm.
2 sections of the ladder had been used in reaching the window. One of the 2 sections was split or broken where it joined the other, indicating that the ladder had broken during the ascent or the descent. There were no bloodstains in or about the nursery, nor were there any fingerprints.
Mm.
So, not going to be easy to solve,
No.
basically.
I don't feel like any crimes were easy to solve back in the day.
Definitely not. Definitely
No.
not. No.
It'd be so easy to do crimes back in the day.
It would be easy to do crime.
Yeah.
Let's go do some
Let's
crime.
do some crime.
Let's do some crime. Yeah, it was definitely easier to get away with that
Mhm.
shit now. But I mean, even then, like this, like the neighbors, the staff, the police, like people were moving about the house freely. The ladder was handled. The footprints were destroyed. Like evidence was compromised before anybody ever really understood like what they were dealing with. So
It's the original John Bonet. I'm telling you, this case is
Yeah.
the original John Bonet.
OGJB.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
So many parallels.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not an excuse, but this was also the first kidnapping, like, of a child this famous,
Mhm.
like, of their kind. Like, everybody was kind of improvising. They didn't have proper protocols. There were no security guards. There was no gate. There's no footage. Like, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. So Charles Lindbergh doesn't really, he doesn't just sit back and let the police handle things, though. He's like in it. He wants to orchestrate this whole fucking thing, basically, which I guess as a parent, that would also be kind of hard for me to back off. I'd be
Yeah.
like, this is what we're doing.
Mhm.
Like, Brr, 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 brr. So I think he gets a lot of flack for going in and taking hold of the investigation as not an investigator. But that was the way he wanted it. And he was Charles Lindbergh, and you're not going to say no to Charles Lindbergh at that time. You know?
Like, he's the most famous person
Totally.
in the world.
Totally.
Yeah.
So he basically decided who communicates with kidnappers, who acts as the intermediary when they're meeting up with the ransom folks, how the ransom's going to be handled. He's got all of this the way he wants it. So once the baby's discovered missing, everyone who even like vaguely existed near that residence at that time is being questioned. Household staff, like the estate workers, neighbors, anybody who sneezed within a 5-mile radius of this house. Like,
Lindbergh gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. And they're desperate. And law enforcement is overwhelmed. I mean, this is huge.
Mhm.
You still have to remember that this is the most famous person in the world right now. He immediately starts pulling strings. He starts to ask friends and associates to like try to establish contact with whoever took his son. And there's this widespread, almost like frantic effort to get the kidnappers to just like start negotiating. Like, let's not waste any time, which is exactly how you should
Be like, I
handle it.
got the money. Let's go.
So, as mentioned, J. Edgar Hoover is his time in the FBI. He was the director at the point, and he's like, yo, we got you. He tells the New Jersey State Police, like, if like we can be used at your disposal if you need to use our facilities, our equipment, resources, like anything you need, like we got you. And on March 6th of 32, Lindbergh receives a second ransom note postmarked from Brooklyn, dated a couple days earlier, and the kidnappers up the demand from 50 grand to 70 grand, which, again, at that time, it's an absolutely
insane. Yeah.
Obscene amount of money. It's about 1.6 to 1.7 million today. 70 grand.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of fucking money. He sounds like I mean,
well, Lindbergh got it.
I was gonna say, does he got it? He won 25 grand. I guess from there, I don't know, he just makes money off of publicity and shit like that.
Probably does.
I don't know.
If you can have an airplane and all that type of stuff, I'm assuming.
Well, he also got people to help pay for the airplane too. Like, he had an investor and shit like that. But so anyways, they get this second ransom. It's 70 grand now. And this triggers the governor of New Jersey to call like a full-blown conference in Trenton, New Jersey. And prosecutors, police, government officials, like everyone gets in this room to argue about what the hell they're supposed to do about this. And Lindbergh also hires private investigators through his attorney, and they're just trying to handle it from any angle possible. A third ransom note arrives on March 8th.
So how many days now since baby's been gone? So it's the 8th. Was it the 3rd?
The 1st.
Oh, the 1st. It's been a while. I'd be freaking out.
Oh, yeah. Baby disappeared on the 1st. They get their third ransom note.
I'd be like, why don't we have this baby yet?
Exactly. Over a week, I can't even imagine 24 hours.
No.
Like, that's insane. So, March 8th, third ransom note. And this one basically says, like, we don't accept whatever intermediary that you picked, and we want to communicate through newspaper ads instead. So, they do. And that's where this gentleman named Dr. John F. Condon enters the story. He is a retired school principal from the Bronx who publicly offers in the newspaper via the Bronx Home News to basically act as a go-between.
I was wondering where this guy came in. Because I know a little bit about this guy, but I'm like, how did this random school principal or whatever come into the situation?
He literally just appealed to them.
Yeah.
Through an ad.
Like, okay.
He put up 1,000 of his own money.
Wow.
Which is a lot at the time as well. And I guess that showed Lindbergh probably like, I'm serious. I want to help. Like, here's some own money for the effort, But yeah, just some retired ass random school principal
Wow.
is like, I want to help.
Mm-hmm.
So Lindbergh's like, cool, you're hired.
Yeah.
And the kidnappers respond almost immediately and say that, and then they send a fourth ransom note that says this Condon guy, he's acceptable. Like they're like, okay, we like the principal too.
Mm-hmm.
And Lindbergh agrees, and just like that, like
we're all agreeing the principal.
he becomes a central figure in this one of the most famous crimes in America.
Yeah.
The fucking principal.
A principal to hand money.
Yeah.
I would be terrified. Like, oh, you're to go be ransom money between a baby and these criminals.
Baby. Isn't that Mr. Johnson?
Mhm.
Some kids see
Mr.
him
Johnson? Like to take their mask off. What?
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. Okay. Anyway, so this Condon guy, the principal, he starts communicating with the kidnappers using coded newspaper ads under the name Jafsie, which is totally a name I can see for that time.
Jafsie.
Jafsie. Jafsie. It's just
That's a good name.
screaming like, my
name's Jafsie.
Go round back and see Jafsie. See? Jafsie. So yeah, Jafsie is his name now, with the ransom note kidnapper people. So around March 10th, baby's been missing 10 days now. He's given the ransom money, $70,000 in cash, and negotiations finally fucking begin.
I just can't believe it took that long or taking this long. You know what I mean? I would just be like,
Yeah.
No way.
Well, and now that like they're like communicating with newspaper, they gotta wait for the turnaround for the newspaper to be printed, which I get is still a daily thing, but then you gotta wait another day for a response, So 2 days later, because that's how long this fucking shit takes now, March 12th, Condon gets an anonymous phone call. And shortly after, this taxi driver delivers another ransom note and says that it came from some identified stranger. Told this taxi driver to bring this note. And that note instructs Condon, our principal, to another message hidden under a stone near a subway station.
Oh my God.
It sounds kind of like a fun little scavenger hunt.
This is like if it wasn't so terrible and the cutest baby ever, it would be pretty fucking cool.
It would be. That sounds like a fun, like, birthday idea.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hide clues all around town. You're going to go everywhere. Cool. Yeah. We should do that someday.
We should.
Not with missing babies, though.
Okay, I'm going to take Violet, right? For like 10 days.
You're going to find her.
You're going to have to find her.
She's just in like a subway bathroom eating a meatball sub. Oh, God. All right. So, needless to say, this note leads him to the first in-person meeting with a man who calls himself John. They meet at Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx, because of course you would meet in a cemetery.
That's where you have to hand ransom money.
Absolutely.
That's just where you do it.
Absolutely. Yep. So because he wants to meet at this cemetery, he ends up kind of getting the moniker Cemetery John, which
is super cool.
It's a cool moniker.
Cemetery John. Yeah.
I want that name.
Cemetery John.
Cemetery, like not Cemetery Nicole. I want to be John.
Yeah.
Like Cemetery
Well,
John.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be Cemetery John.
It's got to be John. It's got to be John. So they talk about the ransom terms, and this John agrees to provide proof that the baby is alive and that he, actually has this child. So over the next few days, Condon keeps running ads, like begging for contact, offering payment. And on March 16th, he finally receives a baby's little like sleeping suit.
16 days later.
Yeah. And it is confirmed to belong to the Lindbergh child, along with another ransom note. And this is taken basically as proof of life. Like, obviously nowadays we can't really put all your eggs on that basket.
Yeah.
But they're like, yep, it's got to be. There's the baby's suit. Now we know.
At least we know they got the baby. I wouldn't trust
these are
if
the
it's alive.
these are the people, at least, you know, they're not just some random scammers.
Yeah.
Like, it's real. So more notes follow. One insists on full like compliance. Another claims the kidnapping like has been planned for an entire year, and it's just kind of like they're like blah blah blah.
It's like, just give me
They're
my goddamn
exactly.
baby.
They're just like talking. It's just like a
Yeah.
fucking telephone call, but through the mail or through the post or through the fucking paper, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck you
It's
call it.
ridiculous.
So now, March 29th, we're almost a month later, the baby's nurse, Betty Gow, the one that had gone up to, you know, find him and he wasn't there, she finds little baby Lindbergh's thumb guard near the entrance to the Lindbergh estate, which was something the baby had been wearing the night he was taken. So they're kind of just being sprinkled these little, quote unquote, proof of life objects. And the very next day, another ransom note arrives, threatening to raise the demand to $100,000. And by April 1st, Condon is told to have the money ready.
It's so weird because they have been doing everything they've been told. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, we would have gave you the money right away.
Yeah.
Give me the baby.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
it's just messing around.
Yeah. It's just
crazy.
like stalling.
Like, I would be so terrified too, even if I thought the baby was alive. Like, who is watching this baby?
Yeah.
Who is touching my baby? Who is feeding my baby? Like, I would just be.
Oh, yeah. 29 days. Like, I can't even. No. So more ads are placed, more instructions follow. Another taxi driver delivers another note from another unidentified man. And then Condon, our principal, is directed again to find a message under a stone. And this time it's near a greenhouse in the Bronx. And later that same night, following those instructions, our principal meets this John again. Although it's still Cemetery John, it's not Greenhouse John now. He's always Cemetery John. So he meets John again, and the ransom note is negotiated finally back down to $50,000, the original amount that they found in the windowsill. And the principal hands over the money. He's like, all right, here you go. And in return, he's given a receipt and one final note stating that the baby can be found on a boat called the Nellie near Martha's Vineyard.
I love that they gave him a receipt. Like, I love that, like, a criminal has like a receipt book in his back pocket.
Gotta make this official. Here's your receipt.
Criminal Enterprises signature. There you go.
$50,000 ransom with Japsy. Yeah. Get the receipt. So John walks away into the woods. He disappears. Searches are conducted near Martha's Vineyard, and this boat does not exist. And little baby Lindbergh is not found.
He's devastated.
So it sounds like they'd been had.
They've been had,
I think they've been had.
They've been messed around with, yes.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep. Now, our principal later...
maybe we should do a little... Just so everyone knows, if you hear some random screaming in the back, we are recording at night, like we were saying, and my husband is playing games and screams a lot.
He's probably streaming on
Twitch. Yeah, go watch him on Duffman.
You can I was going to say, you can listen to him right now.
You could.
But also, this is pre-recorded. Yes. But maybe you can still listen to him right now whenever you're listening.
Yes.
Go check him out. But yeah, he's being very fucking loud.
He's so fucking loud.
So loud. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever, Mark. So our principal, blah, blah, blah. He goes through this. It's not working out. They've been had. And he states that if he ever saw this John again, that he could identify him.
Yeah.
Like, he could be like, that's the guy. So then now we're more than 2 months after the kidnapping now, on May 12th, 1932. And the worst possible outcome finally arrives. So here's your trigger warning. I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. But if you're going to stick around, A truck driver and his assistant accidentally discovered the baby's body partially buried in the woods about 4.5 miles from the Lindbergh home, just off a highway near Mount Rose in New Jersey.
Poor Bubba.
Yeah, the remains are really badly decomposed. The skull is crushed and there's a hole visible in the skull. Parts of the body are missing. We don't know if that was intentional or due to animals or whatnot.
Oh, the body decomposed so much. Totally could have been animals.
It could have been at that point.
Yeah.
Yep. But needless to say, the child is positively identified as Charles Lindbergh Jr. The coroner determines that the child had been dead for approximately 2 months and that the cause of death was a blow to the head.
Yeah.
Which
See,
means
it's
in
like,
all
could it
likelihood, that
happened
baby,
right away.
that baby never survived the night he was taken. You know, even through all the ransom notes, the negotiation, all that fucking false hope.
I couldn't imagine how big of a piece of shit. Like, let's say you weren't meant to kill the baby right away, or maybe you were. Either way, I couldn't imagine like talking to parents and being like, oh, like $50, like putting them through all this, all of it for months.
That's a special kind of torture.
It's a torture. It's evil. It's pure
like,
evil.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
And especially when they were willing to make those negotiations quickly.
Yeah.
Get your money and go. Like, what was the point?
Yeah. You could have probably had the money and been, with how crime was back then, how easy it was to get away with shit.
Yeah.
You could have probably within one day had this baby back.
Yeah.
And the money and be gone.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back. Have you seen the recording to that? You can watch the original. You haven't?
No.
You can watch the original, like studio recording of them making.
That'll be fun to see.
It's so good.
Because I know I'll find it when I'm putting our stuff together.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I'm excited to see it.
Chilies. They went so hard.
It's a beautiful. It's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce. Yeah. It's good. It's good. So yeah, little baby Lindbergh.
Yeah.
Didn't get their baby back.
Yeah.
But I just want to keep singing. Barbecue sauce. That's the worst. We're the worst people.
It's long enough.
We're the worst people. Too soon. Too soon. So needless to say, America is totally wrecked. The Lindberghs are wrecked. The investigation doesn't calm down from there. Now that the baby's found, it basically just starts exploding. So on May 26th, 1932, New Jersey State Police announced a reward of up to $25,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever did this. The FBI circulates the reward notice to basically every law enforcement agency in the whole country. Like, if it wasn't a big deal before, it's a big fucking deal now.
Well, yeah, dead baby.
Dead baby.
The cutest baby too.
Such a cute baby. The cutest, most famous baby.
Cute famous baby.
Cute famous baby. Now at this point, no one is assuming that this was a one-person job. And no one wants to be the agency that missed something obvious either. So this is where things start to turn into like informational hell. So literally thousands of tips start pouring in, which is a problem immediately.
Big problem, yeah.
Big problem. Some are well-meaning, some are delusional, some are straight up scams. Law enforcement still has to chase all of them, obviously, because in real time, you don't know which lead is bullshit and which one matters, And
those people are a special type of fucked up too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So people are just inserting themselves constantly and shit starts to just get messy. So I think this is a good part in which we talk about a gal named Violet Sharp. So she was a young English immigrant working as a waitress in the home of Anne Lindbergh's mother, Mrs. Dwight Morrow. So Charles Lindbergh's mother-in-law's waitress in their home. And that alone puts her close enough to the family to start like attracting attention. So she's questioned early on about her movements on the night of March 1st, but her answers are kind of inconsistent at best. Um, it's not necessarily incriminating, but it's not clean either. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you should have your story straight,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't. Some of the timelines weren't lining up perfectly. And that puts her on the radar in a case where, like, everybody's desperate to find anybody that's responsible, you
Yep.
know? So it's not looking
Nobody.
good.
No.
It's not looking good for her.
Oh, Violet Sharp.
Oh, Violet. So on June 10th of 1932, Violet's being told that basically she's going to be questioned again. But she never makes it because she swallows poison and she dies by suicide.
Which is suspicious.
Suspicious. Also not a very good look.
Not a good look.
Not a
But
good
it
look.
also means, like, well, I won't say, certain outcomes, but it could mean something of just being harassed a lot too by police, or, people thinking you killed a baby when you didn't.
Yeah,
And that also,
exactly.
it could be one or the other. It's awful either way.
Exactly. And if the authorities did confirm that her story checks out.
Yep.
Like, she has no connection to the kidnapping. So officially she's cleared of it, which really fucking sucks.
That really sucks.
You know,
She felt she had to do that.
too little too late, you know. But just like you said, I think that's where a lot of speculation did start to occur. A lot of people wondered, like, I think whether Violet felt responsible in a way for it.
Yeah.
Because she was working for the mother-in-law. So she could have casually mentioned Lindbergh's schedule to somebody over the telephone or in passing. Maybe let slip to somebody that they were staying at Highfields a little longer than possible. Or just like,
Well, you wouldn't think the people around you would be psychopaths either.
yeah,
Would
yeah. Just sharing information.
torture a family. Yeah.
Yeah, without realizing that it mattered,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I think once the kidnapping happened, and I do think this is what I think as well. I think that she just kind of spiraled into guilt and thought that maybe she was an unintentional informant, basically, to somebody that carried out this act, and she just felt super fucking guilty.
That's super sad.
And then she thought again, yeah, they don't have anybody for this. They're gonna pin me. Doesn't look good the way, everything is gone. And she just took her own life, which really, really sucks. So R.I.P. Violet Sharp.
R.I.P. Violet Sharp.
And again, to be clear, there's no proof of this. It's not like an official part of the case, but it's our own personal speculation.
Yeah.
So by 1933, it's obvious that this case is too big. It's too scattered. It's too politically sensitive to keep running the way it's been. And President Roosevelt, who was just elected into office, personally pushes to centralize the investigation under the Department of Justice. And by October of 33, it's officially announced that the FBI has exclusive federal jurisdiction over the case.
I don't want too many hens in the pot, maybe?
I guess so. Yeah. And it wasn't getting done the way it needed to. And once that happens, people started focusing on the ransom money. And this is where things start to actually move. Like, the ball starts to get rolling a little bit. They have access to stuff the local police couldn't. So when it comes to the ransom money, a huge portion of that had been paid in gold certificates. And the government has a better way of tracking that kind of stuff. So the government orders all gold and gold certificates to be returned to the Treasury. And that turns out to be like a massive break in the case. So the FBI prints and distributes pamphlets listing every serial number of the ransom bills. And these go out to banks, grocery stores, gas stations, post office, insurance companies.
It'd just be insane. Because you didn't realize, guys, this was like before, just sending out. It's going to be a massive undertaking.
Oh,
I
huge.
can imagine.
Huge.
Yeah.
For the entire United States. Basically anybody who might touch money, So employees are told to watch everything. And at first nothing really happens, but then slowly some of the bills start surfacing. And investigators can literally start pinning them on maps, old school.
I love it so much.
Yeah, the red fucking, like the Always
Seen the
Sunny meme.
transfers, yeah.
Like,
It's so cool.
So a pattern begins to form, and it's mostly in New York City, especially around Harlem and Yorkville. So they narrow the focus to gold certificates because regular bills are just impossible to trace. And while all this is happening, like, frauds are actually still having a field day. Like, there's still a bunch of scams happening. And one of the worst is by this guy named Gaston B. Means.
Gaston.
Have you heard of Gaston?
I have not.
Gaston Means. He's a well-known con man. So while all this is going on and everybody's distracted, Means convinces socialite Evelyn Walsh McLean, the McLean from the Hope Diamond.
Oh, nice.
If you
Okay.
recognized it,
Yeah.
if you recognize the name, that's where it was, if you remember. So he tells her that he can contact the kidnappers for whatever reason.
It's another person inserting himself again.
It is,
Some
yeah.
random
Again,
people.
yeah, it's just fucking con men. So he claims that he was invited into this whole plot and turned it down, and he spins this whole fucked up lie. And long story short, McLean gives him $100,000, and he keeps her on the hook for weeks, claiming negotiations are going on with some mysterious figure that he's like calling the Fox. And he comes up with this whole elaborate fucking scheme. And she eventually realizes that she's been played.
Yeah.
And the FBI steps in. They arrest this guy, and he's convicted of fraud-related crimes, and he's sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Gaston sounds like a douche.
He is a douche. And he had an accomplice that was actually a disbarred lawyer, which also you can't get any shittier and slimier than that.
Yeah.
And he gets taken down too. So that was just one little sprinkle of just like people just fucking
just being
fucking
assholes.
shit up. Inserting yourselves. And there's a ton of fucking scams like this, but that he's just one of the most
always
infamous.
been scammers.
Always.
And they always get better.
Always. Yep. So by mid 1934, investigators finally catch like a real break in the case. Gold certificates begin showing up more frequently, and now they're starting to show up more in like little small neighborhood stores. So in September of that year of 34, a man pays for gas at a Bronx station using a gold certificate. The attendant notices how unusual it is and writes down the license plate. That leads police to Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
Hauptmann. Is that how you say it? Hauptmann?
Hauptmann.
Hauptmann.
Hauptmann. And he is a German immigrant carpenter living in the Bronx. So police start to surveil his house overnight because it's not looking good for this guy. And the next morning when he steps outside, he matches the physical description of Cemetery John that was given by our friend the principal, and the dude is arrested. They're like, we got him.
We got him.
We got him. Finally. Hauptmann. So a search of his garage turns up over $13,000 of the ransom money, tools consistent with ladder construction, and on top of just knowing that he matched the description that the principal gave, the principal does go ahead and positively identify him as John, officially on the record. A taxi driver identifies him. Handwriting experts say his writing matches the ransom notes. And wood experts say that lumber from his attic matches the ladder that was left at the scene.
So it couldn't be more clear.
Couldn't be more clear. Hauptmann. So it's closing in fast on him. And he's indicted in New York for extortion and in New Jersey for murder. And before the trial even begins, the newspaper starts calling him the man who killed the Lindbergh baby. You know, you're supposed to get a trial, fair trial, but people are like, no, you fucking did it.
Yep.
You are the man that killed the Lindbergh baby.
Well, everyone was, watching this. This was like the biggest news ever.
Huge.
They're probably just so excited for it to be over with.
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah. And it ain't looking good.
No.
That's as close as you can get to like, what do they I was gonna say, what do they call it? Like a flaming sword? Like like a being caught red-handed.
Yeah.
What are the other
The wood
terms
money.
people use for that?
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not looking good. In January of 1935, the trial starts in Flemington, New Jersey, and immediately becomes known as the trial of the century. And it's chaos.
I wish there was like that would have been a good trial to watch. I
It
would have
would be.
loved. That would have been some good court TV.
Yeah, be on that jury.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Ooh, they should make.
How could you be on that jury not knowing?
You know everything. It's just like we have a few coming up. I mean, like I think of Luigi's trial coming up.
Yeah.
If he has a jury, he's not gonna get. It's everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's
There's certain
not
trials
fair
where
and
it's like,
impartial.
yeah, and people are lying if they're saying they've heard nothing about it.
Yeah, you live on a remote island.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So yeah, it's chaos. It's total chaos. Crowds are lining up overnight. Reporters are packing the courtroom. It's just how you see, on fucking TV. Vendors are fucking selling souvenirs outside like it's a fair. It is a circus.
There's always been weirdos out there. I love it.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
have been.
I'd buy a shirt.
Oh yeah.
What would
Hell
the
yeah.
shirt say? I went to the Lindbergh Baby trial and
Yeah.
all I got was a stupid t-shirt.
Yeah.
We have to make those t-shirts
Yeah.
now. Okay. So
Little
they
Gerber baby face.
Yeah.
Just so fucked up.
Pudgy cheeks.
Little pudge cheeks.
So we're not going to get super deep into the trial because I mean that's going to be another hour. So paraphrase it here. The prosecution basically presents the ransom money, the handwriting analysis, the ladder evidence, the witness testimony, and those are their big hitters for this. And Charles Lindbergh actually takes the stand and testifies that he recognizes Hauptmann's voice as the man involved in the ransom exchange.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yep. And the testimony is basically like a grand slam, And of course, Lindbergh is still treated like God. Yeah. Aviation Jesus. Hauptmann says he's innocent. He claims he's innocent. He maintains it. He really struggles with all this public hatred. I mean, again, like we just said, it's really hard to get a fair and impartial trial.
Yeah.
Everybody was, they wanted to see his fucking head on a plate.
Of course they did. Yeah.
So media bias, there's language barriers because he was German, and just the force of fucking Lindbergh's fame. I mean, it's...
Yeah, how are you supposed to go up against that? You couldn't have a fair trial.
No.
You just wouldn't.
No, you're done. You're done. So on February 13th of 1935, 2 days before you were born, if you were born in 1953, Hauptmann is found guilty and he is sentenced to death.
To death.
To death. Appeals fail, clemency is denied, and on April 3rd, 1936, Bruno Hauptmann is executed in the electric chair, and he maintained his innocence to the very end. Right until he got zapped in the chair. And this is obviously huge. Everybody thinks it's, everything's solved and biggest case of the century, and it really does have ripple effects because Congress passes the Federal Kidnapping Act, which you may have heard of. It is actually called the Lindbergh Law, and the FBI gains a lot more authority. Like they're looked at differently after that.
They're like, look, they solved it.
They solved it. Things are just never really handled the same way again even in the media, the way that they handled it. The trial of the century.
What was the trial of the century?
Trial of the fucking century.
Was our OJ.
Yep. So everything I told you is documented. It's factual. It's settled. Most of it's literally on the FBI website.
It is.
But what it means and who knew what and who should have been where and whether justice actually happened is where things get a little complicated and theories start coming to play, and that's where you take over.
It is. Alrighty.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Are you guys ready for this shit.
I'm ready.
So it sounds very cut and dry. We have a solved case. There's a whole section on the FBI website about it.
Yep.
They're like, we did it.
We did it.
But there's this man called Lloyd C. Garner, professor of history emeritus, who thinks differently. Now, have you ever heard this word emeritus?
Emeritus.
Have you heard this before?
No.
Okay, I had to look this up, so I'm just doing a fun fact that's completely off a little bit the topic. But we're going to start with this Lloyd, and he is called a professor of emeritus. So what emeritus is an emeritus is an honorary title granted to someone who retires from a position of distinction, most commonly an academic facility position, but is allowed to continue using the previous title as a professor emeritus. So like if you're a professor who's like badass and is like you retire from someplace, you still get to use it, but they say emeritus like you're above, you're retired and you're
Interesting.
honored. So I just had to tell you guys that.
Interesting.
Makes sense because I'm from America. Maybe you guys have heard of this, but I'm from America. We have 6th grade reading levels here. So we probably don't have maybe many of those. I don't
No.
know. Anyway, this guy, he is known for his work on U.S. foreign policy and wrote the book The Case That Never Dies, The Lindbergh Kidnapping. So Garner doesn't reject the idea that Hauptmann was involved, but he questions the official narrative that Hauptmann acted alone. He never believed that he was alone, and he actually believed our boy Lindbergh had an involvement himself. Lindbergh Sr. So our boy Lindbergh had a big boner for Nazi Germany, guys.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So Lindbergh visited Germany several times in the 1930s and expressed like enthusiasm over Hitler and the Nazi Party. He really loved like their social, political parties. He even said that Nazi Germany was the most interesting place in the world. Like he loved it.
Yeah.
Charles Lindbergh even received an Order of the German Eagle with Star from the Nazi Germany in October of 1938. It was actually presented to him by Hermann Göring, if you know who that is, for his aviation achievements.
Fucked up, dude.
It's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
A little fucked up. So his worldview is really rooted in the idea of like white racial domination. He promoted a concept of like a unified white world against lesser races. He didn't just believe it. He actually started working with Nazi scientists to research like techniques to use people's organs that he thought were lesser to keep the white race going.
Yeah.
So again,
did that.
he was a very intelligent man, but he was in a lot of crazy shit.
He's in a lot of crazy shit.
Yes. So Nazis didn't just believe in killing off the Jews, even though that's what we all know them for. They want to create the perfect race. And in Hitler's mind, that was like beefy, sexy blonde boys with blue eyes.
Yep.
So that means they were studying eugenics and how to stop things such as disabilities that people might have. For example, they really thought of people who are disabled as weak. They really studied on them. They targeted them, and a lot of them were killed. So now what does this all have to do with Charles Lindbergh? Well, our Lloyd C. Garner, professor of emeritus, if you remember, connected how Lindbergh was fascinated with the concept of the perfect race, and his own son, little baby Lindbergh, so happened to have health issues himself that Charles purposely kept secret to downplay his own child having disabilities.
Wah, wah.
So the baby was known to be sickly, and he had an abnormally large head, which they would hide even with a lot of his bonnets. Little Charlie was also known to have hammer toes on his left foot and a few skull bones that was held, which you would never know because,
No.
again, wouldn't make the baby less
Yeah.
beautiful. He's disabled, but if you look at him, he was just
Yeah. Cute baby.
cute baby. So the theory is that Lindbergh possibly offered up his child as a subject to a medical experiment because he was doing this and involved in this himself, and then he faked the kidnapping of his own child's death.
Interesting theory.
Interesting theory.
Huh.
Now, but this isn't just a theory necessarily. So in Nazi Germany, there was the 18 T4 campaign that developed the lethal gas chambers by testing them on disabled people. So this was during those early times where they would test disabled people and how this would work for when they did the big concentration camps.
Yeah.
So people were doing this. There was also a lot of stories of that time where people with, disabled children their children would just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because of death, they would purposely withhold medical care, ship them off to asylums where they would just die alone. The saddest shit ever. I'm getting shivers just thinking about it. But it was very common for that to happen. So, again, I'm doing conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So, could a father have offered up his own child as a medical guinea pig, resulting in a child's death, and then staged an elaborate cover up?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. And that was a time where disabilities were stigmatized. It was the 1930s, and the poor baby sadly had a father who believed babies like him were less than and was very vocal about it. And he hid his baby's disabilities. Lindbergh was also friends with a Dr. Carroll, who was a surgeon who experimented in eugenics and performed these experiments on babies. And that was one of his really close friends.
Oh,
And
yeah, so there's a connection there.
Very big connection. Not so fun fact, that surgeon who did that Nazi, won a Nobel Peace Prize for his surgeries
Wow.
in eugenics. Pretty fucked up.
It is fucked up. Gross.
So again, our history emeritus comes back in and notes that Charles Lindbergh himself took an unusually active role with his friend in this. And he also noted that he took a huge active role in that investigation, which you talked about, where he kind of went in. Why did you go in? Why did you have to run everything?
Yeah, put your fingers in all the pots.
Why did you have to put your fingers in all that? Where you're saying, you like, as a parent, of course you want to be involved. And he's saying, well, that's a little weird that everyone's letting this main person be involved. Lindbergh literally isolated his entire staff and told them that they were not allowed to speak to the police, which is super strange. And then they also isolated them and told, it was, again, word of mouth. The staff said that Lindbergh, someone on the staff said that he told the staff, do not tell the police about my son's disability.
Wow. Yeah.
Why?
Why, yeah. Why would you do that?
Why does that matter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He, like we said, Lindbergh insisted on controlling the whole process, including helping pick out the people that were going to be the ransom handlers, which we talked about, the teacher.
Yep.
And I guess this really frustrated investigators in many ways, which makes sense. To top that off, guys, he immediately had baby Lindbergh Jr. cremated one day after the body was found without a full autopsy.
He did do that.
Why would you do that?
He did do that.
He did do that. So another conspiracy was that Lindbergh may have accidentally killed Lindbergh Jr. during a prank gone wrong. Now, he was known, Lindbergh was to stage the elaborate test of loyalty to the people he loved around him. He would even do pretending someone was missing. For example, he hid his wife's dog and hid it out and lied to his wife so that it was dead and stuff, and watched her freak out and was totally into it. So he was obsessed with emotional toughness, again the Nazi in him. And the pranks were known to be not so kind-hearted. So could he have accidentally hid the baby as a joke in his mind? The baby suffocates, maybe falls, fatal accident because of the head, stage a hoax. He's a celebrity. You gotta cover that. I guess. And it's not just our boy Lloyd C. Garner, professional of history emeritus, that has put this conspiracy theories towards this Lindbergh involvement, but a former judge named Lisa Perlman also says she has evidence that believes Lindbergh was involved. And in that, she wrote a book called Suspect Number 1.
Ooh.
So let's go into that. She suggested Lindbergh Jr. died from a botched medical experiment, an accidental injury maybe in Lindbergh's home, because they would do some of these experiments in his home. She believes Lindbergh orchestrated the hoax to protect his reputation and avoid scandal. So this judge also points at the investigation and how it was handled and believes that Hauptmann actually had evidence planted against him by the police to be the fall guy.
Mm.
So unlike the professor who was like, I think it was an involvement together, she's like, no, I think he was the fall person. Now, what evidence supports this conspiracy, you may say?
I may say.
The police didn't find that money in Hopman's house until multiple searches later. Little weird.
Little weird.
Little weird, right?
Yeah.
Again, they didn't measure the boot prints, and there was also multiple boot prints, not from the shoes that were at the people at the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like why that would be one boot print that they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
There was also no fingerprints, as you said, no eyewitnesses, no murder weapon, all unusual for a case of this magnitude. Why is the fingerprints? Because it's the Lindbergh fingerprints in the house,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Could be.
Hauptmann's wife fought for over 60 years to try to reopen this case, even after he was killed.
She did stand by him. I didn't mention it, but she was definitely a diehard, like, my husband's innocent.
And here's the thing, and he never, even till the day he died, till he looked sure, he's like, I had nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if your wife, like, if I really believed that in my husband like that and find 6 years, even to try to prove his name, even after.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, that says a lot about a person, because who knows you more than your partner?
Yeah.
You know?
And you're part of your family's legacy, no matter how big or small that is. And
Yeah.
go
It says a
down
lot.
thinking you're a baby murderer.
Yeah, it says a lot. Now, Lloyd Garner, professor of history emeritus, himself says he has been trying to stay away from accusing Lindbergh, but he says the facts keep coming in, and it's kind of interesting. Now, he personally believes Hauptmann most likely did it, but he was not acting alone. Is it under the guidance of Lindbergh? He didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to stay away, but he's like, it's not looking too good. So the date baby Lindbergh Jr. was taken the first time was a day that Lindbergh actually missed a public speaking engagement, and it was the first public speaking engagement he has ever missed in his whole entire career. Now, he came home early, which he never did.
Mm-hmm.
He never came home early. He purposely missed something. And if you know, talking about him, this guy was spot on.
Yeah.
Like, he was helping build airplanes. He was a smart person. He wouldn't have just forgot something like that. He purposely didn't go to a dinner with friends. And he came home early, and a lot of people, like this Charles was thinking, was he standing there and watching his baby being taken, like knowing it's happening, but also just being like the lookout while everyone else is in the house?
Yeah.
That's why he had to get there early.
Mm-hmm.
And the dogs weren't barking. That was a big thing in the case. Like, their dogs barked when
Mm-hmm.
people came inside the house. No dogs were barking that night. And the staff were saying that's super weird.
Yeah.
So of course you wouldn't be barking
Mhm.
if
You know the person.
the
Mhm.
person that's there. Now, there is a shit ton of evidence. And even if you believe Hauptmann did it, which he most likely did, I mean, there's so much evidence against him, of
Mhm.
course, but there's so much evidence that he didn't act alone.
Mhm.
Now, we
Yeah.
talked about the 2 footprints, but one actually led from Lindbergh's home to Featherbed Lane, which was actually 2 sets of footprints discarded where the ladder was.
Mhm.
So there was those 2 sets walking off together
Yeah.
to a different street.
Yeah.
It
I
would
believe that there was a second person.
yes. Also people that were trying to react the situation with the ladder,
Mhm.
they said it was like almost impossible. Like, let's say I'm putting the ladder down, I'm
Mhm.
walking up, I grab a baby, and I walk back down.
Yeah.
They're like, it was like virtually impossible.
Oh yeah.
Like, one person would have had to stay on top of the ladder, the person's inside, I'm
Mhm.
handing you the baby,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
having to walk down that way. So it's either maybe a Lindbergh or staff or whoever is close in the house,
There's somebody.
somebody bringing that baby out
Yep.
there.
Mhm. I was thinking of that a lot too when I was reviewing evidence. I was
Right?
like, "Man, I can't imagine doing this
It
by
would be
myself."
hard. It would be hard.
One-handed, pretty much, because you're holding a baby.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah. So only a portion of the $50,000 ransom money ever recovered was in Hampton's garage. I think you said about 13,000 or 30.
13,000.
Yeah, not much. Linus, some believe that he possibly had to pay off other people.
Mhm.
Like, they didn't find all that money. You know, sometimes you splitsy.
Yep.
So they never recovered the sum, leading
Yep.
to possibly a second thing. Now, if you remember the man called Cemetery John, we were talking about him a lot, the kidnapper who took the payment.
Yep.
At a police lineup, Dr. Condon, who was that principal,
Mhm.
did not immediately identify Hauptmann at all.
Yeah.
Like, it took,
Mhm.
I think, multiple times, and they'd be like, and then we're like, oh yeah, that's him.
Mhm.
It was more of a situation like that. It wasn't that he seen him right away.
Immediately, it was like, that's my man.
That's my man. Now, speaking of Cemetery John, that brings us to another theory, which comes from the novel Cemetery John, the Undiscovered Mastermind of the Lindbergh Kidnapping by Robert Zorn.
Yes, Robert Zorn.
Zorn. Now, Zorn believes that another German, a German-American acquaintance of Hauptmann, a man named John Knoll,
Mm-hmm.
was the murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get into that shit, because I think, Nicole, I think this is kind of where your mind's going, maybe
This
a little
is
bit.
my.
Because she asked me, like, did you get... I'm like, yeah.
Did you get John Knoll?
You got John Knoll in there.
Did you get John Knoll in there?
Yeah. So Zorn first learned about the Lindbergh case, he's the author, from his father when he was a child. Now, according to Zorn's father, a John Knoll took him to a New Jersey amusement park in the summer of 1931, about 9 months before the Lindbergh kidnapping. Now, the neighbor met two other men near the entrance of the park, and they were speaking German, but he remembers distinctly hearing the words Bruno and Inglewood. Now, that's where Lindbergh's house was, which was only a few miles from the amusement park. Years later, Zorn's father became convinced that he had overheard a conversation between possibly 3 kidnappers about the Lindbergh baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zorn was like, okay, Dad, whatever, crazy old man. But he began researching his father's story as he got older, and that opened up another bag of worms when it came to this John Knoll. Now, first off, the man this principal saw identified himself as John, not Bruno. So maybe he was using his real name.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Not Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also, if you look up a police sketch of Cemetery John, because that's out there,
Yeah.
John Knoll looks identical to it.
He looks way more like that than Hauptmann does.
Way more. Like the nose,
It's
everything.
It's not a snarl, but the look in his eye.
Yeah, it's a spot on sketch. I give if John Knoll did it, I give such credit to this. I love a good sketch artist. When they get it, I'm just like,
They
oh,
get it.
I'm just like, God, that's why you do it.
Yep.
The kicker also is that John Knoll has a fleshy development on his left thumb, and the principal described that.
Fleshy development?
Yes, that's what they were saying. Like this, like fleshy, like I think.
Oh yeah, I know the thumb.
Yeah,
just the way it was
fleshy.
I have a fleshy development in my pants.
Also, they did comparisons of John Knoll's handwriting compared to Hauptmann's on the ransom note. Very similar. Like
super
similar. My favorite little fact, which makes me go, this might possibly be John Knoll. There were traces of animal fat found in some of the ransom bills. Guess where John worked? With meat in a deli.
Yep.
Boom. That's a big one to me.
That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
It is. That's kind of like, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think I told you about the meat family money at the bank I used to work at. The meat market money.
I don't think so.
I always knew because we have like a meat place. I don't even know, butcher. I guess a butcher in town.
A meat
place. And so any like smoked meats and everything like that. So I always knew when they would come into the bank and whose money they had, because it always smelled just like reeking of smoke and death.
Yeah.
Like every time you would come in, it would just like the bag would come in, or like even I'm like across the bank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, the meat people.
The meat
must have
people
dropped off the money,
Yeah.
and every single bill would just reek of meat. So I'm just picturing all these reeking of meat.
Meat letters.
Meat letters.
Gross.
Going into the world.
Gross.
Another super fishy thing. When the investigation began, John Knoll left the Bronx and moved in with his sister to Detroit. He later left to Europe and stayed there until after Hauptmann's trial.
Yep.
Like after he was convicted, he's like, I'll come back to the States.
Yeah.
Like that's a little fishy.
Yeah. Yeah. What his tickets to get there with his wife, like super expensive.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're a butcher. You don't have this kind of money.
It sounds like he's in hiding. I don't know.
A little bit.
If he's connected with Hauptmann, like if they work together, or if Hauptmann was the fall guy. If Hauptmann was, would be so heartbreaking. It would be so heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. All right, so our next conspiracy is about the Purple Gang. Now, the Purple Gang was a Detroit bootlegging like group, and multiple members of this group bragged about having a Lindbergh baby. Now, the Lindbergh's estate was in a rural area and actually known to have an illegal liquor operation there, and some of the bootleggers yeah, were super familiar with the property layout, like this gang, because they were involved with the liquor.
Okay.
But they did say.
Were.
You don't think they were?
I think they were just like taking credit for something to made them look like badasses.
Make them look cool.
Totally.
Like, we steal babies. It's not a real good flex.
we steal babies.
It's not a good
Better
flex.
watch out.
Now, speaking of gangs, a totally overlooked conspiracy theory is this dude, this Principal Cordon, the handoff guy.
Condon.
Condon. Yes, Condon. The handoff guy and his possible gang activity.
The principal?
Conspiracy theories.
In a gang?
Conspiracy theories. So the idea is that a smaller criminal crew, not the Purple Gang, pretended to be the kidnappers and take the money. So Condon was in on it, according to this conspiracy theory, and was like, told him like, hey, you should get in contact with them about getting this ransom money. That they weren't actually the kidnappers.
Yeah.
But they were pretending to be the kidnappers and using Condon as kind of the middleman to get into it.
I mean, not a bad idea.
No, like if you're just like, let's jump on this bandwagon. And a lot of people obviously were.
Yeah, scammers.
Now,
Scamming.
We're always scamming. Now, my favorite conspiracy theory is that baby Lindbergh is still alive. Now, this is mine. Fight me.
Okay.
I love this conspiracy theory. So the theory was that the child found dead in the woods was not actually Charles Lindbergh Jr., but was totally like a corpse that they were just like throw out there so that they could get like off their trails of this baby, so they can get it it was a misidentified baby. Implanted. Now, it might sound crazy, but I mean, our government has done some crazy shit to protect some popular politicians before.
Yeah.
Were they putting this baby in hiding for a reason? Who knows? Who knows? Now, facts are the baby was badly decomposed. The face was completely unrecognizable. It was identified by its mom, and there was not DNA then.
Yeah.
She identified it because of just like the piece of clothing pretty much on it. So the official explanation, according to the really tiny autopsy that really wasn't done, was that the baby died from a fall off the ladder, but the fracture that the baby had was way more severe that was found. Like it was like hit in the head.
Yeah.
So it's like where they purposely like grabbed a corpse
blunt
and
force
hit it
trauma.
Yeah, on the head. Because again, we're talking about baby still being alive.
Yeah.
In this conspiracy.
Yeah.
Also, the area was combed over and over again. So many people were like, that body's staged. So like, is it a fake baby being staged?
Is it a fake baby being staged?
Who knows? So the Lindberghs were obsessed with perfection and eugenics and could have arranged for him to be quietly placed with another family. That happened a lot then. Again, it was common. Yeah. Common for that time.
It's true.
Now, you'd have to be a cold son of a bitch to create this hoax. But he was a cold Nazi, and he was known to have a very authoritarian, like, parent style.
Yeah.
Even for a young baby. He also had multiple secret families all across Europe.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like a stand-up dude. What? I'm telling this like it's Real Housewives.
No, I'll have to rewind it when I'm editing to see what just cracked me up. I think you said, like, even as a baby, but it made you sound like you were talking about Charles Lindbergh.
Little baby.
As a baby.
As a baby. So over the decades, several men have come forward claiming to be baby Lindbergh, but most were dismissed because of DNA. But some were claiming, and I mean, they haven't got their DNA checked yet. And a lot of these people think that they might be this is because they have a disability or they've been in a home. A lot of these kids came out and never had records,
Yeah.
no birth record, all this.
Mm-hmm.
So if the baby is still alive, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be
Yeah.
one of these people in these homes. We don't know.
Yeah.
Now, there's even conspiracies, and these are some fun ones, that the Nazis took the baby and when they like ran away, and he's like some Nazi prince in some underground Nazi network, like in Argentina.
I kind of like that theory.
I know, right? Yeah. So some people even have conspiracies that baby Charlie ended up becoming like a super famous person.
Oh.
My favorite conspiracy when it comes to famous person is that they believe he possibly was Charles Manson. Yes. Now hear me out, guys, because it's his conspiracies.
I'm gonna hear you out.
Hear this out. Manson was born in 1934, only 2 years after the kidnapping. If you know the story of Charles Manson, his childhood was very unstable and not documented well.
Yeah.
And through orphanages. He does not have legit good records. That'd be pretty fucking groovy. Right?
I need somebody to make that movie.
Right?
Please.
That would be a great movie. Could you imagine if that came out true and you found out not only we related to Lindbergh, but somehow the blood came to Charles Manson?
Oh my God.
That would be cool. Another celebrity people believe baby Charlie might be is Ted Kennedy, which is President John Kennedy's younger brother, and that dirty bitch's uncle we call Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
He's a dirty bitch.
Dirty bitch. So the Kennedys were a powerful family and have been for a long time, which fuels this because they were close to the Lindberghs. Ted was also born in 1932. And some claim that his birth records are a little too neat.
That birth record is too neat.
It's too neat. But we're talking about conspiracies here. Now, if we're talking about someone like Robert Kennedy Jr. that totally acts like abducted by aliens, I mean, we might as well talk about aliens.
Might as well.
I'm trying to do my best for Robert Kennedy Jr. Let's go into the aliens conspiracy now.
Where's the Golden Globe?
Thank you. Thank you. Now, some UFO leaning theorists claim because the handwriting was like oddly spaced, you've looked at the letters, that aliens were writing a kidnapping note, and that's why it's all fucking weird.
I mean, that signature symbol looks pretty.
It's very symbolic, right? Now, the conspiracy could be on like Super X-Files because they say like maybe the baby was abducted by aliens because he was like a child of a globally like famous aviator, and they wanted to do experiments on him. They're like, this seems like their main dude.
You fly spaceships, we fly spaceships.
Yeah. Like, they're like, this is the first day. Hey, they got off the ground. Like,
This is
aliens
it.
could have been monitoring early, aviation.
This is it.
Lindbergh's famous solo flight maybe became like, he's a subject of interest now.
This is it.
Yeah, they want to study his genetics. Like, how did they do this?
I think you fucking solved it.
I think I did.
I think that's it.
I know. Theory is easy, too. The decoy body was placed there to end the investigation. Either by the police, by aliens, or maybe a hybrid of both. You know, man.
I feel what you're throwing my way.
Thank you. Some theorists do believe the U.S. government knew aliens were involved and used Hauptmann as the fall guy. I mean, who do we believe or trust anymore? I actually wrote that. Who do we believe or trust? I probably was writing this really high. I was like, who do we believe and trust anymore? Just my own side note to myself.
Who do we believe?
So who knows? Maybe aliens. Or maybe the occult. Because why not? We're in conspiracies. So the occult theory supporters claim that the homemade ladder wasn't just a tool, it was like a symbol. They connect a 3-section ladder represents ascension. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The number of ladder steps also has numerological, I can never say that word.
Numerological.
Yes, meaning, and the placement under the window was like a ritual position.
Based on how many rungs the ladder had?
Yeah, how many rungs the ladder had. Yep.
Okay.
Some even claim the odd ladder was made intentionally that way because if you look at the ladder, it's very flimsy. It's not like a nice. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, it's a handmade ladder.
It's like a handmade ladder, but it is.
It is a handmade ladder.
Yeah. So people believe it's like a ceremonial object rather than a practical one. Some also look at the occult because the ransom note included a strange circle symbol, 3 holes, and intersecting lines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, occult theorists insist it wasn't just a signature, it was a sigil, a magical mask used for ritual traditions.
Oh.
I mean, that was a weird note.
It was.
I kind of have a theory when I was like looking on all these. I'm not saying, I don't know if it's a cult or anything with that, but it seems like with all the notes and how it all was, I think there's just many different people putting their hands in it.
Yeah.
You know, it could be.
I have a theory.
What is your theory?
That I'm the Lindbergh baby.
You could be.
The DNA is there.
The DNA is
Check
there.
Me.
Check you. Now, people connect like occults to sacrifice, and I guess what is a better baby to sacrifice than the most famous baby in the world?
The second famous baby in the world.
What's the most famous baby?
I don't know.
Being a bitch. Because they believe like if you're gonna eat a baby, eat Lindbergh's baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, man? So to support this theory, the baby's remains were found in a wooded area, and we all know occults love fucking wooded areas.
Oh, they do,
also,
they do.
occults, Nazis, maybe Lindbergh was a part of like a rich people occult thing. Like people say like Hillary Clinton's and all these like she's eating babies in the woods and like there's. Have you heard that theory? Alex Jones said he's like been to like undercover meetings and like seeing like all these like rich celebrities and like people eating babies. Maybe it started like way before Lindbergh.
Yeah. Gotta get them stem cells.
That's what I think.
Some baby DNA.
Yeah. So that's the end of theories. I just have a couple random facts, interesting facts to end it with.
Okay.
So during that solo flight we talked about, 33 and a half hours, Lindbergh reported seeing phantom figures in the cockpit. The crock pot. I think I am starting to see phantom figures. So he said he was starting to like see like he didn't know if it was like aliens or like what, but he said they were voices that spoke to him and they floated beside him while he was. So it's like, was that just 3 and a half hours of no sleep? I don't know.
Could be both.
Yes. Interesting. We're talking about him at the end because he wanted to get away from the fame and everything. He died alone, extremely secluded in the edge mountain of Maui. And this was like a place in Maui where like no one lived. This was like dirt road in the middle of nowhere. He even planned his own funeral down to the simplest details.
Yep.
One little fact that I didn't know, he brought a kitten on board on flight one time because he thought it would calm him.
Cute.
Yes, Lindbergh believed animals had a steadying influence, so he once flew with a kitten sitting on the seat next to him. And this kind of reminds me of very Hitler-esque because that's why I don't think that not one person's good and one person's bad. Like, I think, like, Hitler, he had way more bad than good, obviously. But I think of this, like, Hitler was a huge animal activist. Mm-hmm. I think he'd be vegan nowadays. He was vegetarian. He loved his dogs and drew dogs. And Lindbergh was a big Nazi douche, too. Like, we're the master race. But then they're like, oh, a kitten. I need to fly with a kitten.
Puppies.
Oh. Lindbergh, to end it, was a stinky bitch. And I'm going to say that because he would purposely not shower, and he was known to be really gross because he believed that washing yourself too much made you too soft.
Oh, gross.
He's gross. Yeah. So I love how you gave all this beautiful stuff about your family. I'm like, fuck that bitch. Nazi bitch.
No, you know, I had the Nazi bitch stuff as well, but you covered it, so now I don't have to.
I know. There we go.
Yeah.
It just came because of my theories, all connected to kind of him being a
Yeah.
Nazi.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
Those are some theories.
Yeah.
I still do personally like the John Knoll theory.
I think he most likely was connected in some way. I'll do a side by side on our socials
Please.
and everything like that of the pictures.
It's so obvious that if
That's
it were,
him.
it was definitely not Hauptmann.
I would love if it was Charles Manson. Just the dates and
It's
everything.
fun.
Oh, he
That
does
is
have a
fun.
weird head.
He does have a little bit of a weird head.
Yeah. I'd be like, let me see those toes.
I don't think he looks anything like Lindbergh, though.
You don't
Maybe a
think
little
so?
bit more like Anne Morrow, his
Yeah.
wife, but
Could be.
fuck. So we've went through his life,
Mm-hmm.
the kidnapping, the execution of Hauptmann, the theories, and now I think it only fair to just end his life. That sounded bad. And his life has already ended. So let's go ahead and wrap Charles up right after trial, just to paraphrase the rest of his life real quick. So he never emotionally recovered from this ever, obviously, as most parents would, assuming that he didn't have anything to do with it. Regardless of what happened, him and his wife basically fled to Europe after the trial, and they were just like, fuck this country, we're done with it. And this is where they get into all their weird Nazi shit and their eugenics and everything that you had covered. Just all around being kind of a shitty person. It's a shitty person era, for sure. He became the face of the America First Committee, which was an isolationist group that straight up, like, flirted with fascism and anti-Semitism. And his speeches were, like, real ugly. The ones that we're hearing
gross.
now.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I
in
think they
2020,
tried.
2024, 2025.
Well, people tried and throughout history because he did. Again, we were talking about not everyone is so good and not everyone is so bad. Some people are a lot more bad.
Yeah.
He just let that bad side out.
Well, a little, yeah, more bad than good.
More bad.
For sure.
And I think people, because they wanted him to still be that face of like this aviation, hero. I think they tried to hide a lot of it.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, because that's all I heard in school.
Yeah.
First was
absolutely.
that, he's just this famous aviator. And then my family was like, oh, yeah, we're related to him. I'm like, oh, yeah. Cool. That was cool for a while. It's cool. Until it wasn't.
It can still be cool.
It's kind of.
It's still cool.
It's still kind of cool.
I think it's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
As long as you think it's cool.
Oh, yeah. My opinion's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So yeah, he gets into all this fucking gross Nazi shit. His speeches are gross. It's like ugly history book territory, like where we're at right now. At one point, FDR actually was just like, this guy's a fucking problem. Like we got, like we don't want to claim him anymore, just to a degree. But America, it's kind of split because there is a lot of people that were like, oh no, like this is our hero. And then there were a lot of people that, like we just talked about, it just gets glossed over in the history books. So I don't know how you can say, I guess he kind of won.
He did.
He kind of won, didn't he?
Yep.
He kind of won.
Unless he didn't do anything to his baby. It's sad as hell. I don't know, like losing my child, I turn into a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But
at the
you know what I
at
mean?
the core of it, if nothing happened to his kid, like you're still like, oh.
Yeah, he was still involved, and like even before they were called Nazis.
Yeah.
Like he was all up. He's like, we're doing experiments on this shit. Cool. Like, he's all about it. Cool.
Yep. So once the U.S. entered World War II, actually Lindbergh was barred from military service because obviously, surprise, like Nazi sympathizers, it's kind of a deal breaker when it comes to that kind of thing. But because he's still Charles Lindbergh, he managed to work as a civilian consultant and he would still fly combat missions in the Pacific anyway.
It's so
because
weird that he.
apparently, yeah,
I always thought this was so when I was trying to read about, and it was so weird about him when what he did for our military,
yeah,
considering we were fighting fascists,
oh yeah.
considering he was a fascist. So it's
If you're
really
tall and
interesting.
handsome and famous enough,
Yeah,
you can kind of do whatever you want. You
so
don't have the
weird
consequences.
having a little Nazi in our military.
Yeah,
So,
it is really weird. He did actually end up helping develop these like fuel saving techniques, and he did fly through some dangerous missions, which kind of rehabbed his image a little
mm-hmm.
bit on, you know, to a degree. So, like, on one hand, he is this
Yes.
revolutionary aviator. He changed it forever. He inspired all these generations of pilots. He had the fucking, our airport was named after him,
Yeah.
the Lindbergh Humphrey Terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course. But then on the other hand, you have this Nazi sympathizer, this fucking anti Semitic bullshit, and all this.
It's one of my number one things I love studying is how does someone's that happens to someone mind.
Yeah,
Like a good person, a smart person.
a smart person. Yeah.
I always want to know. I want to know the psychology of it.
I know. The psychology is weird. So yeah, his past was definitely fucking, it was complicated. But here's a fun fact that not a lot of people know about it. And you even seemed like you were like, huh, about it. So you can let me know if you heard about any of this at all. Um, After Anne's death, who she died in 2001, and that was long after Charles himself died, because like you mentioned, he died in 1974 in Hawaii,
Maui, yeah.
in Maui. Yeah. Um so Anne outlived him, but it
Wow, by
wasn't
a lot. She must have been pretty old.
by a lot. Yeah, she it was by quite a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, 2001
Mm-hmm.
she died. Um Only after she kicked the bucket did it come out that Lindbergh ended up having a double, like, or a triple, technically, life. Most of his life,
Fucking crazy.
most of his marriage. So in 57, Lindbergh, who was 55 years old at the time, he was still married to Anne, and he meets a woman named, I want to say it's pronounced Brigitte instead of Bridget. I think it's Brigitte Hassheimer. And she's a 31-year-old hat maker in Munich. And they immediately slide into this like 17-year secret affair,
Wild.
producing 3 children. And that affair lasted until he died in 74. Nobody knew about it. Anne didn't know about it. Not even the kids of him and this Brigitte, like,
So the
knew
kids
about
didn't
it.
even know did the kids know who their father
No,
was? Wow.
no, no.
It's so interesting. I always wonder like men like this that can do this. How do you have the time?
How do you have the time?
Like how do you cuz like you're helping create things. You're like doing planes, you're flying like you're doing that. You have your own wife like and you're having all these other lives like
Yeah,
did your wife see you?
yeah.
Like
Well, from probably not. And I guess that's a good excuse, at least for pulling off one. I think I understood this correctly when I read that his affair, Brigitte, when he would visit her, which was just a few times a year, he didn't come a lot. He didn't come as Charles Lindbergh. He came as Mr. Carew Kent.
so she didn't even know who he
Mhm.
was.
That's what I'm thinking.
That would be fucking crazy, wouldn't it? Like this guy that you boned like a few times a year.
Yeah,
Some hot, sexy time that you're somehow having kids with. I don't
yeah,
know why, I just use
yeah,
protection.
yeah.
Maybe they didn't have it then, but
I
so
don't,
weird. But then you wanted kids, maybe if you have three of them. But the guy you're boning, baby daddy, and then he becomes like the most famous.
yeah,
Yeah, well, he is the most like
yeah,
famous. That's crazy.
yeah. Yeah, and like yeah, and he fathered fucking 3 children with them. And he just maintained total secrecy about who he really was, and that's fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more, because of course there's more. At the same time, Lindbergh was also secretly involved with Brigitte's sister, Marietta,
Wow.
and he had 2 children with her as well.
So his children are, how are they related then? His children and other
They're
children.
cousins and brothers and
That's
sisters.
so crazy.
Brother cousin,
Brother cousins.
sister cousins.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Who has the time?
What was the time? Well, why stop there? Because he also had a long-term relationship with a third woman named Valeska, who was his German translator and private secretary, and he had 2 more kids with her.
That's so many kids.
So that's 6 kids with his wife Anne, 3 kids with Brigitte, 2 with Marietta, and 2 with Valeska. So that's 13 kids.
I wonder if he was financially supporting all these people too.
Probably
oh my
not.
God.
Probably fucking not.
Yeah.
How the hell do you get it? That's so many. And these aren't like oops affairs. These are logistical
These are
planning.
legit, like, yeah.
Spreadsheets.
17
Super
years.
fucking intentional.
Yeah. Wild.
It's insane.
Who has the fucking time?
Yeah.
I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
So here's a weird angle because you had mentioned like Lindbergh is deeply into eugenics, which if you haven't figured out what eugenics is, did you give the definition?
Not necessarily the definition.
It's like the study of like
DNA and
people,
and
the perfect race was eugenics and well, let's get the actual definition up here. It's the set of beliefs and practices aimed at improving the human species by selectively encouraging or preventing reproduction based on perceived desirable or undesirable inherited traits. So
there's so much good can come from it, but people use it for so much bad. Like the people that, like the Nazis using it literally just to.
Yeah.
And nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's disgusting.
It's gross.
So, yes, like you said, he's into eugenics. So basically, a lot of historians look at this situation and go, like, this doesn't really feel like just a simple horny midlife crisis. Yeah. This guy has a history of being into eugenics. And it feels like he thought he was doing a favor by like spreading a seed amongst the world.
Yeah. It's very Elon. It's like how Elon Musk is literally building a city. Yeah. With these random women. He's R. Kellying it in a weirder scale.
For sure.
It's so fucking weird.
It's super weird. Like and just to think that was like, was that his purpose?
Think about how fucking big your ego is. Yeah, and that's.
Do you think do you think he loved these women, or do you think he was literally just like, this is my?
No, probably was just spreading seed.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, and that also can go for the conspiracy theory that he had something to do with the one that wasn't perfect.
Yeah, yeah. This is why I asked you. Did you hear about his wet dick?
No, she sent me a text and she's like, oh, with John. I'm like, yep, doing John. Then she's like, the wet dick, and I'm like, no.
Not the wet dick.
What are you talking about?
The wet dick? Yeah, no, that is gross and unnecessary. So
unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, to be honest, cousin. So basically 10 days before he died in 1974 in Maui, as you mentioned, Lindbergh wrote letters to all 3 women begging them to maintain the utmost secrecy. Even in death, he was still like needed to control everything. And they did for a really long time. And even the kids waited until I think the last one had died to like start doing research. And then they ended up releasing a book.
Wow.
And
that would be a good book. I should go find that. It might be a good fun to read.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, I
I
thought you had a butt fart, not a
butt fart. No. It was a throat fart.
It was a throat fart.
It was while I was talking. So yeah, that in a nutshell, that's my cousin.
Who's your cousin?
He sucks.
Tell us what your theories are.
Go on
our socials. Let us know.
For sure. I am so tired right now.
Me too. Let's go. I just want to end because we're in Minnesota, and for everyone that fucking don't live in a rock, you see what's happening to our state right now. We are being bombarded with ice. We're getting like 500 to 1,000 agents a day extra now.
Yeah.
It's even in our rural area.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to end that said, in Ojibwe teachings, a warrior walks with courage and humility, thinking not just of today, but of the generations who will follow. Many of us here in Minnesota are protected by our ancestors. We feel this through our bones and we recognize this. That's why we fight so hard here. We're protected. Our bodies are built for this. If you learn anything about Minnesotans, we have this. What I do ask is, if you're not looking up already, you can go on our socials. I will make sure to put all information where we have lawyers here, phone numbers, your rights, everything like that. Get familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you don't think like, oh, I'm white, I'm going to be fine. It doesn't matter even if you're not in Minnesota. Just get familiar with your rights,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't care about those, but you should be familiar with them.
Yeah.
Because they want you to do everything you can to break a law so that they can get you. So please go in there, send us love, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day.
And I'm glad you put that, because I actually had written something that I wanted to put out there too.
Okay.
Not like you did, but I was going to put out some resources just because I wanted to make sure that we touched on it this episode, because it is a huge thing that's going on right now. I'm sure more than one person has thought about the fact that we're here. We're recording from the state. We're seeing the direct impact that it's having on the communities. I mean, they're starting to come into our area. They're headed towards our area.
Yeah, we have our families around here that who own our Mexican restaurants, and I know our other ones. I mean, we're in a small area. These people have been here for decades.
Yeah.
And pretty much in hiding.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Are in
they're
hiding.
closing their restaurants.
And yeah, so that's what's happening now. So please be familiar with if this happens to you and keep fighting. And know we're okay.
So I have found some people wondering like how they can help from afar, and people wondering what they can do. They're not in Minnesota, and I've heard a lot of people say that it would be useful for donations to come through of like warm clothing, hand warmers, face wipes for people that are getting pepper sprayed, donations just for legal help. There are multiple resources, but there is also this collective called the North Star Health Collective, and they're actually street medics, and they do the mutual aid. They're like the health response groups that are out there trying to make sure everybody stays well while they're fighting on the streets. And that's huge, and you never thought that we were going to have to do this so regularly even. I mean, we just dealt with this with George Floyd too.
Yeah, it's a lot different now. Yeah, I don't even know what to say without bawling and crying. I'm sorry.
It's hard.
It's a lot.
It's hard.
We're going to be okay.
We'll be okay, but everybody does have to stick together and do whatever you can, and be careful.
And make sure that you don't fight. I mean, do fight, but be very careful, because they want you to do something bad. They're going to provoke you to do something bad, and don't do it.
Yep, there's a lot of different resources, and like you said, we'll post them. There's tips and ideas on, again, how you can help and the best ways to go about them. I mean, just as an example, they're tracking people through their phones in ways that you don't understand, or that you don't know you've actually given permission from other apps. So like turning your phone to airplane mode while you're at a protest or in these neighborhoods, and watching out just for whatever you see, and special websites where you can report sightings and report what kind of sightings, and just be smart about it.
And know you're not safe. You're just not. You're not safe. So just be aware of that, but we'll try to put everything into one little section for you so you don't have to go to a whole bunch of different things. So go to our socials and send love. And I appreciate you all, you guys.
Everybody stay safe, and let's get weird in another couple of weeks.
I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Girls gone weird. Girls gone weird.